Hi, my name is Valerie Castillo-Warner, and this is my career speech assignment. So, the reason that I picked teaching and early learning as a career is after spending so many years in my first career, which was a CNA for 30 years. I took care of, worked in a hospital, long-term care facilities, and in-home care. So after 30 years of doing that, I realized that I wanted to try something different in working with children. So the theme of my paper is make learning fun. So part of the reason I got involved in that is because I've always basically been an educator. The oldest daughter of 11 children, and so I had seven siblings under me, and I was taught by my parents and older siblings different tasks and to read and write and all those things that come with learning and growing, and I repeated those same things that I was taught to my younger siblings. So I was kind of brought up in that role of being an educator and a teacher and leading by example. So it just kind of came naturally. And also in the medical field where I worked, I also had the opportunity to train others as they came into the field to learn how to not only take care of particular clients that we had, but also the tasks that were involved in our daily job duties. And so it made it a lot easier as you get older and you do the same thing over and over again. But working with people, it is a challenging job at times. Everybody has a different personality, and you just never know what you're gonna get, but you always do your best with everyone and with respect. And that's one of the things with teaching and your job with working with the public is that you give everybody the same level of respect, whether they're an elder or a young child. You never want to overpower them with who you are, and especially with children, for them to, because they can sense that there's an issue, whether they've grown up with respecting authority or not. You don't want them to be afraid of you, and the one thing you want to always instill in a child is that they're wonderful and they're brilliant and they can conquer the world. And making learning fun is something that I believe helps in the learning process. And they're going to want to learn because they like laughing and singing and dancing, and just a positive atmosphere is what the hope is in education. So as we get into some of the information that I have, it's a very broad profession, just like the medical field. You would be able to use your education license to get into different areas, not only working with children, but middle school, high school, professors at a university or college. And also the rate of pay is very substantial to some other jobs, some other fields that you might be thinking about getting into: early childhood education, elementary, secondary. So when you're looking into different professions that you could be, I mean, besides being an educator and a teacher, there's always the principal, and there's always the school superintendent. There's many levels that are needed. Let me look at a few. Here's a job description that when I seen it, I was like, wow, I never would have thought. But because of the world we live in these days, these particular areas are needed. So here's one for a program supervisor for the arts, $68,000. to $81,000, depending on your experience, obviously. Bilingual education program supervisor, $68,000. Homeless student stability program supervisor, $68,000 to $81,000. Principal of a school, $118,000. So there's a wide range of opportunities out there for educators. It's just finding the fit for you, and because it's so broad and vast, everywhere educators are needed. There's even the opportunity now for online teaching, which is kind of what we do in a sense when we do our online classes here at Highline College, which I do want to plug Highline College for their BAS program in teaching and early learning, which is what I'm involved in at this time. And I have to say that they have a very beneficial pathway for education, starting out with certificates and areas where you can to try it out, and you spend a quarter learning some basic information about working with children, and then from there you move on, get a little more education, different certificate, and you start building up on these levels till you're comfortable and find out, is that what you really want to do? And once you realize that that's what you want to do, then of course you move on into the AAS program, and then the BAS, and even into a master's. That's all provided there on Highline College in campus. So definitely I would let anybody know that to be an educator is a rewarding field, especially when you're teaching young minds. Well, thank you so much for your time and for listening to my career speech assignment. Have a good evening.